Hello everyone and welcome to this advanced level muscle strengthening session. In this session we will go through 9 exercises together that you can integrate into your fitness program. We are starting right away with the first exercise. We are going to work the abdominals, the transverse abdominis. For this exercise you can use a mat. If you have difficulty lying on the floor, I invite you to do the exercises on your bed at a higher level. First exercise, the front plank. We're going to get onto our forearms and go directly into position on our toes. I'm getting into a position so that my back is straight. I'm starting the timer and I'm going to hold the straight back position for 45 seconds to a minute. If you feel any sensitivity in your lower back during this exercise, I would suggest raising your pelvis a little higher. It's not ideal, but it's better to do the exercise without pain than to feel discomfort in your lower back. Above all, avoid arching your back. And to do that, I tuck in my glutes and tighten my abs. If the exercise is too difficult on both feet and you feel like you're starting to struggle during the exercise, don't hesitate to bend one leg and place a knee on the ground to relieve yourself a little. If you are doing this variation by placing a knee on the ground, I invite you to switch legs after a few seconds to balance the work between the left and right sides. And if you are comfortable, then we stay in position on the balls of both feet. We are going to try to hold for another 10 seconds or so without holding our breath. We are going to feel the work in the stomach area. And we can release. Very, very good. We are now going to move on to exercises for the oblique abdominals, the side of the stomach. We can get into a side position on the mat. So there are several possibilities. Either you align your feet, placing one foot on top of the other during the exercise, or you find it uncomfortable to place your feet on top of each other. In that case, you can move your feet, placing each one in its own spot on the mat or on the floor. Either you find the exercise too difficult or too intense while performing it. In that case, we would bend the leg and place the foot on the floor to make it a little bit easier. Here, I'm going to start with my 2 feet positioned like this. I place my forearm under my shoulder, I start the timer, and I'm going to lift my pelvis. I lift my arm to keep my body aligned. I try to keep my body aligned from my feet to my head. I hold the position. So, during this exercise, it's normal if you feel your shoulder working a little bit, and you will also feel it in the side of your abdomen. Generally, with this exercise, people often feel it in the shoulder and don't necessarily feel it in the side of the abdomen. Don't worry, the abdominals, the side of the abdomen are working. If the exercise is ever too difficult, you can bend your leg and place your foot on the ground to help you have a little more stability. If you feel like you're at your limit with your shoulder and it's becoming really too difficult, you can place your other hand on the ground for support. But try to keep your pelvis high so that you really work the side of your abdomen. We're going to try to hold it for another 15 seconds or so. And if you are comfortable with the exercise, don't hesitate to go back to both legs and hold the position. Hold for another 5 short seconds. You can perform this exercise for between 45 seconds and 1 minute. And you can release. Very, very good. We are going to switch sides. Now, what you might feel is a little discomfort, sometimes in the arm, in the forearm, when you press on the ground. If that's the case, you can either double or triple your mat to have a more absorbent, more comfortable surface, or take a small cushion for your forearm to be more comfortable. A small cushion or a towel. We switch sides, we get into position. Either stack your feet or stagger them one from the other. I start the timer, I lift my hips into the air, I reach my arm upward, and I hold the position without holding my breath. If I'm comfortable with the exercise, I hold the position. If I feel like I'm slipping a little bit during the exercise, I can bend my leg, place one foot on the ground to add extra support. If I feel like it's becoming too much for my shoulder, I can use my hand to support my body a little bit. But if I'm comfortable with the exercise, I keep my hand extended upward. And if I feel that I'm not slipping, that I'm stable, I can keep my feet either stacked on top of each other or separated, but I must keep my body aligned from head to toe, from toe to head. I hold the position for between 45 seconds and a minute. I will feel the side of my abdomen working. I might also feel a little pressure on my shoulder. That's normal. Hold for another 10 seconds or so without holding your breath. 3, 2, 1, and you can release. Very, very good. We're going to give a little rest to the arms that have been working, to the shoulders that we might have felt during the previous exercise, and also let the side abdominals rest a little bit. We are now going to work on the posterior chain, working the back of the thighs, the calves, the glutes, and the lower back. For this exercise, you can lie on your back, bend your legs, and spread your hands out with your arms extended on the mat or on the floor. We will inhale to prepare, exhale, push the pelvis upwards, and to come back down, we will extend one of the two legs and control the descent of the pelvis towards the floor. So if you feel a difference in strength when you push with your legs at the start, don't hesitate to have this little mark for your heels. I place my heels more or less at the same height as each other, checking with my hands to see if they are at the same distance from my pelvis, from my glutes, and we start the exercise again. We will perform the entire same series on the same leg. We will either have a little bit of recovery or we will move straight onto the other leg for the second series. I exhale, I lift up on both legs. I extend one of the two legs and I control the descent. And I start again. I exhale, I lift up. I stabilize by engaging my abdominals, by engaging my glutes and my back. I extend the leg and I control the descent. If the exercise is difficult and I feel that it's hard on my lower back, I can lift my pelvis less high. I lift my pelvis less high, the exercise will be less intense for the posterior chain, the back of the thigh, and the lower back. In this exercise, you may feel the work in your calf, the back of your thighs, your glutes, and your lower back. You can do sets of between 8 and 10 repetitions on the same leg. We're going to do it 2 more times. One last repetition. And you can release. Either take between 30 and 90 seconds of rest, or if you feel comfortable, you can start directly on the other leg. In this exercise, it's obviously the supporting leg that you'll feel a little more intensely. So the leg that controls the descent of the pelvis toward the mat. We're going to switch legs. Here, we're going to work on the right leg. I exhale, I place both my heels at the same height. I exhale, I lift my pelvis. I extend one of the two legs, the other leg, and I control the descent. And I resume the exercise. I exhale, I push through my feet, I extend the leg, and I control the descent. Try to avoid when you extend your leg, completely relaxing your pelvis. You see, like this. No, I engage my core well and I control the descent. If I feel it's difficult for me to engage my core, I lift a little less high, I extend the leg and I control the descent. If the exercise remains difficult, what you can do is stop extending the leg fully. That is to say, I simply lift my foot off the ground and control the descent. The exercise will be a little bit easier. Like this, I lift my foot a little off the ground and I control the descent. You see, the exercise can be a little bit simpler like this. If I am comfortable, I engage my core, I extend my leg, and I control the descent. We're going to do it 2 more times. Exhale, lift up, extend the leg, and control the descent. One last repetition. And control the descent. And we can recover. We have just finished the first set on each leg. You can relax your legs a little by loosening the muscles, swinging your legs a bit from left to right. Catch your breath, recover, have a drink if you feel you need to hydrate. And then we'll start the second set on each side. I started by extending my right leg. We're going to start again on that leg. I exhale, I lift up on both legs, I extend the leg, and I control the descent. And I go again. I engage and I control the descent. As a reminder, if it's difficult, you don't have to fully extend your leg. In this case, I lift my heel slightly off the ground and come back down. I go up, I lift my foot off the ground and I come back down. If I'm somewhere in between extending the leg and just lifting the foot off the ground, I can bend the leg a little bit, lift it, and come back down. If I feel any sensitivity in my back, I won't lift my pelvis all the way up anymore. Like this, I lift a little less high, I lift off, and I come back down. What is very important in this exercise is to remember to engage your core, engage your abdominals, glutes, and lower back when you lift one of the two legs off the ground. We're going to do it one last time on the first working leg. I go up, I contract, I extend, and I control the descent. Very, very good. We are going to switch legs. I exhale, I lift up on both feet, I extend the leg, and I control the descent. And I control the descent. Exhale, lift up, push through the heels, extend the leg, and control the descent. If the exercise is difficult, I don't extend the leg, I simply lift the foot off the ground, so to speak, and I control the pelvis, the return of the pelvis to the mat. We continue the set. If I'm comfortable, I can extend the leg again. You can perform this exercise in sets of 8 to 10 repetitions, depending on how you feel. If you feel comfortable, you do 10 repetitions. If you feel a little bit challenged, a little bit tired, you do slightly shorter sets of 8 repetitions. We're going to do it one last time, and then we can relax. Relax your legs a little by swinging them from left to right and recover. On this exercise, you might feel the work in your calves, the back of your thighs, your glutes, and your lower back. We are going to move on to the next exercise. We worked the back of the legs, now we are going to work the front of the thighs. For that, we are going to work on squats. So, for the squats, we are going to do free squats. I'm going to show it to you from the front and from the side. You can place your feet more or less under your hips. We're going to place our hands on our hips. We're going to control the descent while inhaling. Look far ahead, keep your back straight, and exhale, come back up, squeeze. I control the descent by pulling my glutes backward, and I exhale, I come back up. I keep my back straight, and I come back up. If I feel any discomfort in my knees when I lower my pelvis backward, then I will go down less deep like this. I can limit the descent based on how I feel in my thighs, my knees, and my back. If I am sensitive, I go down less deep. If I am comfortable, I can bend my legs a little more. I always keep my back straight. I try in any case to keep my back as straight as possible. To do that, I keep my chest open and I look forward. We are going to do it one last time and then we can relax. Very, very good. For this exercise, we will perform 2 to 3 sets of between 8 and 10 repetitions. For the second set, I'm going to show it to you from the front to show that it's important to pay attention to your knees so that your knees don't cave inward or go too far outward. Again, I'm going to place my feet more or less at hip width. I can open them a little bit more to be a little bit more stable. I place my hands on my pelvis at the hips and I resume the exercise. I control the descent while inhaling and I exhale as I come back up. I pull my glutes backward. I look far ahead with my eyes and come back up. Inhale, descend. And exhale, come back up by pushing through your heels. I will feel the exercise in my thighs and in my glutes. I might feel a little bit of a stretch in the back of my legs. That is completely normal. The more comfortable I am, the more I can slow down the movement, whether on the way down or on the way up. I make sure not to let my knees cave inward. When I go down, I try to stabilize my knees by pulling my glutes backward. I control the descent and come back up. If I feel pain in my knees, in my back, or in my legs, in my ankles, I go down a little less like this. And we can recover. Between each set, you can take 30 seconds to a minute and a half of recovery time. If you feel like you need a little more recovery time, don't hesitate to pause the video and resume with us once you've recovered. Don't hesitate to hydrate between each set. If you feel that you are now comfortable with your routine and want to go a little faster, to challenge your body a bit more, don't hesitate to reduce the recovery time slightly. We are going to do a third and final set. I will do half of the exercise facing you and the other half from the side. I reposition my feet, I spread my feet apart, I put my hands on my hips, I look far ahead, I inhale to go down, I pull my glutes back, I look far ahead, I keep my chest open and I exhale, I come back up. If I am not sure about my position, I can do it in front of a mirror to watch, look at my knees, ensure that my knees do not cave inward, do not go too far outward, and keep my back straight. If I am comfortable with my exercise, I can slow down the descent, slow down the ascent, which means the muscular work will be greater. If I am struggling or feel that the muscles are working too hard, I can go down less deep and be a little bit faster in my exercise. We are going to do it one last time and then we can relax. In this exercise, you will have been able to feel your thighs and glutes. That is to say, it might pull a little bit in the lower back because there might be a slight lack of flexibility, but if that is the case, I invite you to go down a little bit less. We are going to move on to the next exercise, specific strengthening of the calves and work more oriented towards balance. For this, you will need to position yourself in front of a small elevation, in front of a step stool, a small step, or your stairs at home. If you have a step platform, you can also use that. I am going to show you using a step platform. So I am placing the step platform in front of me. At home, you can stand in front of your stairs or a small step stool. I'm going to start a set on the left foot, then a set on the right foot. And then we will start a second set on each foot again. For the exercise, I'm going to start here with my left foot, for example. I start with the left foot, I bring up the right foot, and I step back down. Your left foot will stay on the chosen elevation for the entire exercise, for the whole set. I step up and I step down. If I'm having trouble with balance, I can place my foot completely on the chosen height and step back down, placing my foot completely on the ground. If you are comfortable, you can step up, place the ball of your foot, the forefoot, and control the descent, doing more or less the same thing. So either place the forefoot on the ground or place the foot down completely. The more comfortable you are, the more we can slow down the movement, which means the supporting leg, the quadriceps of the supporting leg, will work harder and more deeply. I step up and I step down. I step up and I step down. Like this. If you want to work your cardio a little bit more, you can go a little bit faster in the movement. We are going to switch feet. This time it's the right leg that will be working the quadriceps of the right leg. I place my right foot on the chosen height. If you have difficulty with balance, you can hold on to a railing, an object, put your hands on your hips or on your thigh to help yourself a little bit. I step up with my right foot and I control the descent. I step up and I step down. You will feel the work in your thigh. If you ever feel any sensitivity in your knee, if you feel it becoming sensitive, choose a lower height. We continue the movement, we will feel the thigh working. We are going to do it one last time. And we can relax. For this second set, I'm going to show you the exercise from the front. Don't hesitate. If you feel you need a little more recovery time, to pause the video before starting the second set. Second set, I'm starting again on my left foot. Here we will make sure to also pay attention to the knee, obviously. Same principle as with the squats, we will try to keep the knee aligned so it doesn't cave inward and it stays more or less above the ankle. And I'm starting this second set. I go up and I go down. If I'm struggling, I place my foot down completely and I place my foot back down completely at the back. If I'm comfortable, I place the ball of my foot or just the tip of my toe down and start again. You will really start to feel it working deep in the thigh, specifically in your quadriceps of that supporting leg as you hold the position. If I want to work the cardio a bit faster, a bit harder, I speed up the movement a little. And if I want to work the muscle a bit more deeply, I slow down the movement to make the load last on the muscle a little bit longer. And we are going to switch feet. Right foot on the step. If you feel you need to recover, take about 30 seconds. Otherwise, we'll start the second set on the right leg right away. I step up and I step back down. There we go. Very, very good. Watch your knee, so make sure the knee doesn't cave inward, that it stays more or less above the ankle. You're going to feel the thigh working. As a reminder, if you want to get your heart rate up a bit more, speed up the movement a little while keeping the knee well aligned. If you feel the exercise is too easy for your muscles, slow down the movement. That will lower the cardio intensity and make your muscle work a little deeper, a little harder. We're going to do it one last time. and you can relax. If you're comfortable at home with a step, with a stair, you can obviously move up, for example, to the second step, a slightly higher height, which will make your muscles work a little harder. It will also challenge your cardio a little more. We are going to move on to the next exercise. Here I'm removing my step. For the next exercise, you can use a sturdy chair, a wall, a desk, a table, whatever you like. Here we are going to work on balance. 45 seconds to a minute per foot without support. Just for the setup, you can hold on to something. Fix your gaze on a point, and when you're stable, start the timer and stand on one foot. We're going to hold the balance position without any extra support. I'm going to feel my arch, calf, and supporting leg working. I'm holding the position without holding my breath. I'm trying to relax my shoulders for the duration of the exercise. And if I'm comfortable with the exercise, I can close my eyes to disrupt my visual reference. By closing your eyes, the exercise will be more difficult, more intense, more challenging. You'll feel your foot moving much more. You can choose how to perform the exercise, either without extra support or by closing your eyes if you're really comfortable. We're going to hold it for about another 10 seconds. And we can release. Now we're going to switch feet. I'll show you from the front for the right foot. Right foot on the ground. I fix my gaze on a point and start the timer. I keep my gaze fixed on the point, I hold the position. I'm going to feel the arch of my foot working, the ankle working. I can also feel it in my calf. A little bit in the thigh, that's also possible. During the exercise, I relax the rest of my body, I relax my shoulders, and I hold this position for 45 seconds to a minute, depending on how you feel. If the exercise is too easy, I can close my eyes. By closing your eyes, you will immediately see that the exercise is more complicated, that the body is more unstable. You will feel your legs shaking a little bit more, that your thigh is working a little bit harder, that your calf is working a little bit harder. And if you are struggling, don't hesitate to open your eyes again. I can alternate between phases where I open my eyes and where I close my eyes to disrupt visual cues and work a little bit more intensely. Very, very good. We can relax. Impeccable. So I'm putting the chair away. Hop. I invite you, if you haven't done so since the beginning of the session, to hydrate a little bit, and we will move on to the next exercise. So exercise number 7, we are going to work the quadriceps again. We are going to work on lunges. I will show you the exercise from the side and from the front. We are going to do 2 sets for each leg. So I'm going to place one foot in front, place one foot in the back. Your back foot, the heel is off the ground. To have balance, more balance, you can put your hands either on your hips or on your front leg. Your back will need to remain as straight as possible during the exercise. So I remind you, the back heel is off the ground. Your front foot is placed completely on the ground. I fix a visual point with my gaze and I'm going to start the exercise. If you feel that you don't have enough stability, I would invite you to spread your feet wider to have more stability on the ground. We are going to inhale on the way down. I go down, I pull the knee towards the ground, and I exhale as I come back up. The more comfortable you are, the lower you can go. You see, when I go down, I keep the alignment of my head and my back knee. So that means I'm not pushing my legs forward. It's really the back knee, as if I wanted to place my back knee on the ground, creating 2 right angles with my thighs and my legs. Same principle for this exercise. You can do 2 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions for each leg. We're going to do it 2 more times. I inhale, I go down, and I exhale, I come back up. And we can relax. We are going to switch legs. I spread my feet apart, my heel of the back foot is lifted off the ground. My front foot is completely flat on the ground. To keep better balance, I can either place my hands on my front thigh or place my hands on my hips. I will keep the alignment from my head down to my back knee. I control the descent as I inhale and I exhale as I come back up. If I am comfortable with the exercise, I control the descent a little lower, almost touching my knee to the ground. Conversely, if I feel it is difficult, I go down a little less. You should not feel any pain in your back during this exercise. You must not feel any pain in your knees. You should feel it working in your thighs. But if you feel any sensitivity in your knees, don't hesitate to go down less or to hold on to a surface, a desk, or a fixed object to help you a little bit with the exercise. And we can relax. I'm going to show you the exercise from the front. Up. Second set. I'm going to place my left foot in front, my right foot in the back. As a reminder, if you lack stability, don't hesitate to spread your feet a little bit wider like this. I place my hands on my hips and I start the exercise. I inhale, I go down, and I exhale, I come back up. I'm going to feel it in the back leg, in the thigh, in the quadriceps of the back leg, right there. I can feel it from the pelvis down to the knee. I should not feel any pain in the knee area. If I feel an unpleasant pressure, something that hurts in the knee, I go down less deep. If the pain persists, skip the exercise. You can see that my knee stays aligned and that I am not pushing my legs forward. It's really about the descent of the back leg. We can relax and switch legs. I get into this position and I start the exercise. I control the descent as I inhale and exhale to come back up. If I am comfortable, I can go down lower, getting closer to the ground. And if, on the contrary, the exercise is difficult, I go down a little less. If the exercise is difficult and too intense, I can limit myself to sets of 8 repetitions. If I am comfortable, I can go up to 10 repetitions. Very, very good. We can relax. We're going to let the legs rest and we're going to move on a bit more to working the upper body. So, for this exercise, I invite you to take a resistance band or a towel if you don't have a band. I'm going to show you the exercise with a resistance band from the side and then from the front, and I'll show it to you with a towel if you don't have a band at home. I take a resistance band like this. I place it around my feet. Your legs can be either bent or straight if you are flexible enough. That depends a little bit on your flexibility. I'm going to keep my legs slightly bent. That will provide a bit more comfort for the back of the legs. But if you're comfortable, don't hesitate to keep your legs straight. I'm going to keep my legs bent. I take one end of the resistance band in each hand. I keep my back straight. I'm going to exhale, pull my elbows back, and inhale, release. I exhale, I pull my elbows back, and I return to the starting position. If you feel comfortable with the resistance of your band, straightening your legs will make the band a little less flexible, and therefore the exercise will be a little more intense. I try to pull my elbows to the same height. I will feel the work in both my shoulders and my upper back. If the exercise is too intense, I can bring my feet closer to my body. The band will have more flexibility, or I can pull the band back a little less hard. You see, like this. And we can release. For this exercise, you can perform between 2 and 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions. I am going to show you the second set with a towel. If you don't have a resistance band at home, take a towel and roll it up like this. If you have one that's a bit larger, that can work too. A bit shorter, and it will be a little more complicated. I'll show you the exercise. So, you have this position. In this case, my towel is a little bit short. I hold the position. I bring my feet closer to my body. I'm going to exhale, hop. I'm going to exhale, pull my shoulders back, and inhale, relax. You see, I'm creating counter resistance with my feet. I pull my elbows to bring my torso a little closer to my knees, and I relax. If you have a slightly larger towel, it will be a bit easier to perform the exercise. Here, once again, you will really start to feel the work engaging deep in your shoulders and across your upper back. If you find that this exercise is becoming too difficult to maintain, simply pull back a little less hard as you work to bring your body forward. We are going to do it 2 more times. Last repetition. I am going to show it to you from the other side using the towel. This should make it much clearer for you. See here how the elastic, the difference with the elastic, since the series is rigid, I bring the body forward. Very, very good. We can relax. You recover between 30 seconds and a minute and a half. If you are comfortable, you can obviously start this third set more quickly. And if you need to take a slightly longer break, don't hesitate to pause the video and restart it when you are ready. Last set, I'm going to take it back with the elastic band and show it to you from the front. I'm placing the elastic band around my feet. Here, the elastic band is flexible, so it will be a little bit easier. I shouldn't bring my body forward, but I could pull my elbows back a little harder. I'm going to exhale, pull my elbows, you see, more or less at the same height. So we try to avoid having this or this. I exhale, I pull, and I inhale, I release. If the exercise is easy, don't hesitate to use a slightly stiffer elastic band or to straighten your legs to make the exercise a little more intense. I keep my back straight, I feel the exercise in my shoulders and in my back. If the exercise becomes too intense, I bend my legs to give my elastic band a little more flexibility. If I'm comfortable, I slow down the movement to make the contraction last a little longer. I'm going to do it 2 more times. And we can release. Very, very good. We are going to start the last exercise of this strengthening session. Exercise number 9, the exercise to strengthen the upper chest, the upper body. We are going to work the pectorals and the biceps. We have just worked the shoulders and the back muscles here, so now we're going to balance things out a little by working the front of the body. For this, you can do your push-ups directly on the floor, on the mat, or work from a slightly elevated surface such as a chair, a step, your bed, or a desk if the exercise is too intense. I'm going to show you the exercise on the floor, directly on the floor. Push-ups. You can place your hands a little wider than your shoulders and get up on your toes. We are going to inhale, keeping the back straight by tightening the abdominals and tucking in the glutes. That is to say, I tuck in my glutes. There, you see, I am sticking my glutes out, so I am arching my back. We can get tension in the back. No, I tuck in my glutes, I tighten my abdominals. We are going to control the descent while inhaling, exhale, and come back up. When I inhale, I pull, I open my elbows to the sides, and I exhale, I come back up. If you feel that you are struggling with the exercise, you can perform it either with one knee on the ground, which will lighten the load of the exercise, or with both knees on the ground, like this. If, conversely, you feel that you are comfortable, you can continue the exercise on both feet. You can perform sets of between 8 and 10 repetitions. We are going to do it 2 more times. One last time, and we can release. So as a reminder, for this exercise, I place my hands a little wider than my shoulders. I control the opening by opening my elbows to the sides, and I push to come back up. If the exercise is too intense, do not hesitate to go down a little less. If you are comfortable, control the descent more slowly and take your time coming back up. Another tip, if the exercise is too difficult, bend one leg and place one knee on the floor. If you are really struggling, do it on both knees. I am going to show you the exercise from the front. I move, I place my hands a little wider than my shoulders. I position myself on my feet, abs tight, glutes tucked in. I control the descent and come back up. I inhale to go down, I exhale to come back up. I make sure to lower my shoulders first during the exercise and not lower the pelvis, because if you do that, you'll arch your back. It's the shoulders that go down first. If the exercise is difficult, I bend one leg, place one knee on the ground, and continue the movement. If the exercise remains too difficult, I can either place the second knee on the ground or go down less deep. Like this. We're going to do it one last time and then we can relax. For this exercise, you can do between 2 and 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions. We're going to do it one last time together to finish the session. Between each set, you can take between 30 seconds and a minute and a half of recovery. Recover well and relax your arms. We're going to start the last set if you feel you still have a little bit of energy left. And here we go again. I place my hands outside the mat. We're going to have a grip a little wider than the shoulders. If I'm struggling, I can also start this third set on my knees like this. I make sure to tuck in my glutes and tighten my abs. I'll show you from the side. If I do it on my knees, I still remember to tighten my abs, tuck in my glutes and not arch my back. And I will control the descent on the inhale and exhale to come back up. I inhale, I go down, I exhale, I come back up. If I'm comfortable, I extend both legs. I can comfortably do 2 or 3 repetitions on one leg, and then I will switch over to the other leg to keep things balanced. I inhale on the way down, I exhale on the way up. If it's difficult, I go down less far. And if I'm comfortable with all my repetitions, I can do it on my feet. One last repetition and we can release. And there you go. Congratulations. You have just finished the advanced level muscle strengthening session. If you have difficulties with the exercises, do not hesitate to take more recovery time between each set, between each repetition. If you feel pain during an exercise, stop the exercise completely. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was your coach, Jean-Philippe. See you very soon. Bye-bye.